This presentation will be on social economic status, or SES for short, and its effect on youth. According to an article written by the American Psychological Association, social economic status encompasses not just income but also educational attainment, financial security, and subjective perceptions of social status and social class. The relationship between SES, race, and ethnicity is intimately intertwined. Research has shown that race and ethnicity, in terms of stratification, often determines a person's social-economic status. Furthermore, communities are often segregated by SES, race, and ethnicity. These communities commonly share characteristics, whether it's low economic development, poor health conditions, and low levels of educational attainment. Low SES has consistently been implicated as a risk factor for many of these problems that plague communities. Research indicates that there are large health disparities based on social statuses that are pervasive and persistent. These health disparities reflect the inequalities that exist in our society. It is important to understand how various social statuses intersect because race and socioeconomic status affect health exclusively as well as mutually. In the United States, 39% of African American children and adolescents and 33% of Latino children and adolescents are living in poverty, which is more than double the 14% of poverty rate for non-Latino, white, and Asian children and adolescents. African American unemployment rates are typically double that of Caucasian Americans. African American men working full-time earn up to 72% of average earnings of comparable Caucasian men and 85% of earnings of Caucasian women. Racial and ethnic minorities have worse overall health than that of white Americans. Health disparities may stem from economic determinants, education, geography, and neighborhood, environment, low quality care, inadequate access to care, inability to navigate the system, provider ignorance or bias, and stress. At each level of income or education, African Americans have worse outcomes than whites. This could be due to adverse health effects or more concentrated disadvantages or a range of experience related to racial bias. Despite dramatic changes, large gaps remain when minority education attainment and outcomes are compared to white Americans. African Americans and Latinos are more likely to attend high poverty schools than Asian Americans and Caucasians. 12.4% of African American college graduates between the ages of 22 and 27 were unemployed in 2013, which is more than the double rate of unemployment among all college graduates in the same age range. The Harry S. Truman Scholarship attempts to aid students in their desire to achieve higher education. The Harry S. Truman Scholarship goes beyond what typical financial aid does for students. Aside from providing them with money, the Harry S. Truman Scholarship provides assistance with career counseling, internship placement, graduate school admissions, and professional development. The Truman is a highly competitive, merit-based award offered to U.S. citizens and U.S. nationals from Pacific Islands who want to go to graduate school in preparation for a career in public service. The Truman Foundation is the official federal memorial to our 33rd president. The foundation is a federal executive branch agency that administers the Truman Scholarship Program. The agency is governed by a board of trustees appointed by the President and Congress, endowed by a $55 million trust fund in the U.S. Treasury, and supported by a staff of 5 and more than 100 distinguished public servants and former Truman Scholars who participate in the selection process. The foundation was started as a trust agency and received most of its funding from Congress in the late 1970s. A positive outcome is that it grants up to $30,000 to apply towards graduate studies in the U.S. or abroad per applicant. A negative outcome to this foundation is the small quantity of individuals it directly affects. Although if chosen for the scholarship, an immense amount of help is delivered, but only a few select number of people benefit from its immediate monetary contributions to society. All of this information can be found in the description below. The socioeconomic status of individuals plays a very large role that can not only affect individuals in a monetary sense, but also both mental and physical health, and not to mention its educational disadvantages. A good step towards further development of the Truman Scholarship Program would be to have a stronger stipulation on giving the scholarship to individuals from rough and difficult backgrounds to allow them to escape a negative environmental home life and incentivize them to pursue higher education.